live. There we go. Now we're on the video on the old computadora, the computer, all that fun stuff. I'm back. It's Friday. I don't know if I did one last week. Did I do one last week? I don't remember. But this is This Week in Marketing. My name is Chris, and we're going to go through some news and information that's come out this week in the marketing business world, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to have some fun, and we're going to drink a beer, and we're going to bang through this stuff because there's some cool stuff happening and some valuable information, I think, in regards to some social media platforms, in regards to Google, and even a little bit of SEO knowledge. You know, the stuff I found this week is pretty cool. It's kind of like the fallout that is coming from all this kind of hubbub about privacy and advertising concerns that are going on with Google and Facebook and all these other companies. So we're starting to see the reaction of what's going on, and we're going to start to see how this is going to play out in the advertising world. So I'm excited to share with you, and it's going to be an unfolding thing, but first, it's Friday and we can have a beer. So this week I picked up the old, I can't even say this, Weihenstephaner, there we go. It's Bavarian style Hefe beer. There you go, Instagram Live, you can take a look at that. There you go, YouTube people, you can take a look at that. I'm a big wheat beer guy. It's like my favorite thing. I love Bavarian style beers. I love Belgian style beers, saisons, wheat beers, all that type of stuff. It's my favorite. So I pick them up whenever I get a chance, especially during the warmer months, and it's certainly starting to get warmer. But anyways, we're here to talk about marketing. Let's talk about marketing. So the first thing that's going on, Facebook. We didn't talk about Facebook last week because I wanted to give them a break. This week, they've got a chance to redeem themselves. So Facebook is unrolling a new set of features for users. And these features allow you to go through and kind of flip switches on the data that can be used off Facebook. So this has to do with the remarketing pixel. And if you're not familiar with what that is, I'm going to try to sum it up here quick. Essentially what happens is you can download a pixel through your Facebook advertiser platform, put it on your website, and then anybody who comes to the website gets like a little cookie attached to their browser. Now that cookie collects data from all sorts of websites that person visits. It's like metadata, but essentially it's like the website, maybe what the website's about, location information, that type of stuff. Now, we can use, as advertisers, we can use that data to tell Facebook, hey, we want to target people that are interested in fashion. And what Facebook will do is kind of use that data to say, hey, this person's visited a bunch of fashion-like websites. They're probably in this category. You can also use that data to remarket to your audience. So if somebody comes to your website, you can attach that cookie, and then you can run a Facebook ad campaign on Facebook and Instagram and even the Facebook Audience Network that serves an ad to that person that has visited your website. Now, a lot of people think these ads are creepy. They think that they're, a little bit invasive because you'll be like looking for, a toothbrush on one day, and then all of a sudden on Facebook and every other website you visit, all of a sudden you're getting ads for toothbrushes. And I think on one hand, these people are right. It is a little bit creepy. On the other hand, if the advertising is done effectively, it's not. If it's a good ad and you're in the market for that product, then it's relevant. The problem is that there's a lot of people out there that are using this to not really be helpful, and it's also the area where Facebook keeps leaking. This pixel and this tracking information is exactly how user information is getting out. This is at least up some of it. I'm sure there's other ways, like leaving passwords and shit in plain text. I've been reading that all over the news for the last few months. Companies really do this. They got like hundreds of passwords. I think Instagram was the one. They had like thousands of passwords just stored in like a note file or something. And they got their hands on it. But The pixel is another way to do it. I think the whole Cambridge Analytica thing happened because the pixel or the API, and that's all related to that. But so there's some user privacy concerns. There's some advertising quality concerns there, and I get it. So what does this actually mean to Facebook? What does this mean for us? Here's the article that I'm pulling straight from Facebook.com. This came out on the 14th. I read an article that pinged to it, but here we go. So in the coming months, we'll begin rolling out a tool that lets people see and manage their off Facebook activity. Mark Zuckerberg announced this feature last year, and it's designed to give people more transparency and control over the data other apps and websites share with us. This will include a list of apps and websites someone visits that use our business tools, such as the Facebook Pixel, SDK, and API. See, I told you they're all related. We've had conversations along the way with businesses, agencies, and industry bodies to get a sense of things advertisers will want to know in preparation, and we put together a list of those important points for you. Here you are. Now, some of these points really pertain to the user, but I want to pick out the 2 points that are relevant to us as advertisers and business people. So the feature may impact targeting. No shit. When someone disconnects their off Facebook activity, we won't use that data they clear for targeting. This means that targeting options powered by Facebook's business tools, like the Facebook Pixel, can't be used to reach someone with ads. This includes custom audiences built from visitors to website or apps. Businesses should keep this in mind when developing strategies for these kind of campaigns in the second half of this year and beyond. So it's out. Remarketing using the Facebook Pixel is going to be massively less effective. Get ready for it. Measurement will remain intact. This is the second point that I want to talk about. Point number 4 in the article. Facebook's measurement and analytics tools have been carefully designed to protect people's identity. We never share anyone's personal information, such as names or phone numbers, in our measurement and reporting tools, and we don't anticipate changes to measurement once this feature is live. We will still be able to provide accurate measurement to help businesses understand the impact of their Facebook investment while honoring people's choice to exercise control of their off Facebook activity. So essentially what this means is that you're still going to be able to do conversion tracking, and that is absolutely essential for any type of Facebook advertising. If you're running ads, you need to be tracking conversions because that's what's really determining the effect of your campaigns. You got to be able to see that. So that seemingly is going to remain intact. Now, my question is, that I would ask about privacy and all that is like, if you're going to keep it, in order to track conversions, then you're still tracking data. So where is that data going? It's got to be stored somewhere. So I think there's still vulnerability there for someone to be hacked, namely Facebook. But we just don't have our access to the data, so we as advertisers can't use it. Well, let me backstep a couple steps. Technically, we still could use it if somebody allows us to use it, but if they flip the switch off, then we don't. So I don't know what's going to happen. What does this mean moving forward for Facebook? It certainly means that some kind of tools are going to go away, like remarketing and that sort of stuff. But I think it also means that ads are going to have to be better. We're going to have to rely on good old-fashioned targeting and make sure that our ads are compelling so that we're not relying on like clickbaity crap to get someone to the website and then just remarket to them to death until they finally come back. That's what we don't want. We want ads to be quality. I think the advertising has its place and can be useful for us as consumers, but it's got to be good. Also, I'd be interested to see if there's any new tools that pop up, like with Facebook, that kind of like how YouTube is, how, if you watch any YouTube content creation, they're always like, subscribe and then flip the notification thing. Like, I wonder if we could have that tool. Like, hey, if you like our page, like our page and make sure you hit receive, notifications. I don't know if notification's the right word, but something like that. Like hit a little bell or something that allows us to advertise to you. That would be cool. Opt into advertising. That would be all right. And I think it forces a little bit of quality in the product, in the product of ads, right? Okay, that's enough about Facebook. Now, last week we did talk about Twitter, and I want to keep talking about Twitter because I think that you're going to see this reaction to like Facebook getting shit on. You know, Twitter's going to try to eat up some of that market share in terms of ad revenue. Okay, so what's going on with Twitter is something strange, and this came from BuzzFeed. I'm reading this article, and I think it's really weird. Essentially what's going on, let me flip over to it here, is that Twitter is apparently showing more ads, and it's weird stuff. Okay, now it's coming from BuzzFeed, so we have to take this with a grain of salt. How like dashed up is this? How cherry picked is the data? I'm not sure, but I thought it was interesting to look at, because what it seems to me is that they dialed back the kind of regulation on what can be promoted, as to what makes it through the filter, in an attempt to get more impressions and kind of drive up, ad revenue and to take advantage of these people that are maybe advertisers like businesses or myself, other marketers that are looking for other alternative ways. We want to see impressions, we want to see engagement, we want to see these things. So in order to do that, Twitter's one of the methods, I guess, is to kind of open up the filter a little bit and send more people through. But it's letting some weird ads go through. So here's one of them. While Twitter didn't comment on the content of its increased ad load, the quality bar has seemed to go down as a number of impressions have gone up. Our recent promoted tweet linked to an article about overseas women looking for American men, while another promoted a list of comics about double standards in society that will make you stop and think. Another offered to explain why 1 in 2 Slavic women want to spend their lives with a Western man. So these are just strange companies that are coming through, like this relieved official. This is like an ad like about double standards, like really strange kind of ad coming through. Like, what is this for? Why is this going to show up in your news feed? Why would you even receive this ad? Another ad that's really strange is like this one. Like, this is supposedly a promoted post. It's like from a dude named David Hobby. Maybe I'll go to the desert, find myself on the Joshua tree. If we pass in the night, then just hand me a light and tell me you burn just like me. What? I guess that's lyrics to a song or something. But this is a promoted tweet. Who is paying to push this stuff? I have no idea. It's really strange. I think they quoted David Carroll, is like a professor who says it's pretty shocking to see what garbage is circulating. What he says is that before he's seen relatively high quality promoted tweets, but now it's like some weird stuff that's circulating. More stuff. The Weeknd loses a massive deal last minute. These are like these weird Wisdom Branch, Channel News Buzz. These are like strange news companies that are getting promoted posts through. So like I said, I think what's happened here with Twitter is that they've like opened up the filtering. Maybe their AI, they kind of loosened up the regulations, and a lot of the stuff is getting through that really shouldn't get through. Or maybe the stuff is getting through, but what's going on is they're allowing more of it into your news feed, into your Twitter feed. So you're just getting like more of the kind of like junk instead of the good stuff, instead of the good ads. So, really weird. I don't know why Twitter's doing that. According to the BuzzFeed article, though, I think that they're trying to clamp down on it. They tried to like regulate some of this stuff. But even still, this is just kind of weird stuff that these other companies are doing to try to, I think, take advantage of this market share of advertisers that's now looking for other places to advertise. So what's going to happen over at Twitter? I don't know. I like Twitter ads. I think they're pretty solid. I don't use a ton of them just because you got to be like real specific in the market that you're going for, and you got to have a product and a message that's really fitted for Twitter. It's not somewhere that you can just advertise anything. But anytime I have advertised on Twitter, I do like it. I think it's effective. I talked about that last week. There's a lot of cool things you can do with targeting that just aren't really available on other platforms. But yeah, sorry, we're about halfway through here. And we're doing pretty good. Doing pretty good on time. So, okay. Next thing I want to talk about. Google Let's open this up here. So Google what are they doing here? Google lags behind Amazon and Facebook in revenue growth. So this comes from the Market Realist. I don't know where this article is really. I never pulled something from the Market Realist, so hopefully you guys have good content. I read through it. I thought it was tight. The thing I wanted to mention though was that they're making a point. This isn't the only article like this. Okay, there's a lot of articles that are saying the same thing here. Google lags behind Amazon in revenue growth. So they're trying to do things to react to it. Now, we've talked about this for weeks, right? Like Google is adding more shopping ads. They're adding more discovery ads. They're putting ads all over the place. And they're trying to offer more opportunity for searchers. Now, what's also interesting, and this is kind of like the stats here that come from this. That's what you're seeing on your screen here. Their advertising revenues. So what's kind of jumping all over the place here, but the point I'm trying to make is this, that Google is trying to advertise or trying to get you to buy ads in more places in hopes to gain more of this market share. I've been talking about this all day. More of this market share of advertisers. Now, what's also important to note here is that Google is also one of the companies, mainly Google Chrome, part of that company Google Chrome, the browser, that is going to start allowing you to turn on and off ads, okay, with different companies. You're going to be able to go in and have a tool that allows you to flip on and on stuff. So although Google is adding more places to advertise, what is being said about the quality of the ads, right? My worry is that in order to even get anything seen on Google, you're going to have to pay to play for it. If we think about that first page space, most of the first page on a search page is 3 ads. Then you have a map listing if it's somewhere local, and that map listing usually only has 1 ad. It used to not have any ads. Now it has 1, but now Google is saying they're going to do more map ads. Then if you're on the mobile version of it, if you're using the mobile Google Chrome app or the Google app, you're going to get even more ads. You're going to get these image discovery ads, which could be 3D and AR and all this type of stuff. Where does that go? It's the whole page now is all advertisements. So what does this mean? It means a couple things in my mind. First, ads are going to become the way to get anything done. On the first page of Google, that's where it's going to be. Second, I think people are going to not like it. People hate ads. So marketers are going to ruin everything. It's just going to be a bunch of ads on there. So the way that Google can help regulate that, so here's what happens. If people hate it, people are going to stop using Google. And there's already companies that are out there that are trying to take it, take over some of the market share in search engine land, and it's not just Bing. Bing's one of them, but you got DuckDuckGo and some of these other ones that are offering new value propositions in the form of privacy and other things as a search engine. So with the added animosity towards ads and ads being more prevalent on Google property stuff, I think people are going to not like it. So that means they're going to move to other platforms. Now, what Google can do to battle this is make sure that the quality of these ads is really good. If the ads are good, if they're regulated and they're put on, from good companies, the landing page experiences are pretty good, the ads look nice, these type of things, then people will find value in it. If people find value in it, then that's good. What would suck is if it's crappy ads, crappy landing pages, irrelevant ads. So not only if it doesn't look good, but it is completely irrelevant to what they're going for, what the person's searching for, then people are going to hate it. Now, to Google's credit, they do a pretty good job of this. If you run ads on AdWords or Google Display or YouTube or any of this stuff, if you're not advertising something that's related to the keywords that you're targeting, Google's not going to run your ads. You could even pay extra, and they're not going to run your ads. It's just kind of how they are, and I like that about Google. We want stuff that's relevant. If also with Google, if your landing page isn't good, then they're going to like charge you more, which means your ads are going to show up less, depending on what kind of budget you have. Maybe you have a hella budget. You can just have a crappy landing page out there. But in most cases, not. So Google does have some of these steps in place. Now that they're offering ads in more places, hopefully they can maintain the quality of those ads, and users don't just flee away from Google, because they have a really nice advertising platform. AdWords is amazing. It's brilliant for advertising. It's like one of the best out there, arguably, with terms of tracking and interconnectedness to other apps. It's brilliant. But anyway, so that's kind of what's going on in Google. And see, the last three things we've talked about, Google, Twitter, Facebook, they're all related to ad quality. I think that's going to be a big thing in the second half of 2019 and moving forward into 2020 is ad quality matters. And how do we measure that ad quality? We're going to be looking at stats on how often are you turned off, and that's going to result in bans and, quality scores and this kind of stuff. So I'm excited to see that because it'll weed out some of the crappy marketers that are out there. But hopefully it results in a better overall market for advertising goods and services. But okay, I need to drink some beer. My throat's getting dry. I'm thirsty. Delicious. Delicious. Okay, we've got one more article to go. And this one is cool because it shows what I've been talking about for a long time, is that hacks do not work. Okay, like I'm not a fan of hacks. Anybody who comes to me is like, hey, can we like do some SEO crazy hacks? Can we do this game, this game we can play on Facebook or the search engines or whatever to get number one? And every time I turn them away. I really try to not do that stuff because most of the time, if you can get results, it's short-lived. And then when the hammer comes, because it certainly comes, you get screwed over. And then you're way behind. And your competitor just seizes that opportunity on you. And this is a perfect example of that. So Cars.com versus Car Gurus. The saga shows importance of SEO and the bad side of a Google update. This article is coming from Search Engine Land. And they do good stuff. If you have a mind for SEO and you want to improve your knowledge about SEO, Search Engine Land is something you want to pay attention to. They always put out good articles and they're really helpful. So I'm going to read through some of this stuff and just kind of, because, like I said, they're awesome. So I'm just going to kind of give you the verbatim of it and then we'll talk about it. So for Cars.com, the popular automotive marketplace, the March 2019 core update was good. The company has seen a 49% increase in search visibility since. SEO director David Green said he believes a lot of the success has to do with their SEO strategy around content and site performance updates. But there was another factor at play. While Cars.com saw a post-update bump, one of its biggest rivals, CarGurus.com, saw the opposite happen. CarGurus.com lost hundreds of thousands of number one placements in Google after the March update. About 30% of their keywords dropped significantly in Google. And you can see from the SEMrush chart below that their visibility in Google is back to where it was in December of 2017. So what this chart shows is that, by, September 18, moving into January, SEO started to drop, or organic traffic started to drop, or it really didn't, drop significantly until closer to, March and that time when the update happened, and then it took a big dive. Meanwhile, they're paying for ads. Their paid traffic has significantly increased. So what happened? What is the deal with CarGurus.com? So according to Search Engine Land, they asked CarGurus for a comment, but they declined. However, one thing that they saw is a steep increase in link building activities in December 2017, shortly after CarGuru.com's Google rankings began to sharply increase. It wasn't until the March 2019 core update where the rankings dropped off. It's almost like Google decided to completely ignore the links they built up starting in December of 2017. So what they mean by that, link building activities, what you can do, you can go on to like Fiverr or Upwork or these places and pay for people like in India, in foreign countries to do like massive link building activities. So what they'll do is they'll take your website and they'll post it on forums and blogs that are really just manufactured for this exact purpose in order to create backlinks to your site. Because one of the factors for SEO has always been backlinks, and quantity of backlinks matter to a degree. So this has been known as a hack, and cargurus.com was exploiting this hack, and in the short term they gained market share, they gained position on the search engine, but then it didn't work out, right? All of a sudden the update happened, Google said we're not counting any of those backlinks, and they took a big hit. Let's continue reading now. According to a leaked internal presentation by cars.com, the company believes they uncovered massive black hat linking tactics by cargurus.com. The presentation claimed 66% of the links they uncovered were from India and were considered low quality. The presentation also suggests that cargurus.com was using cloaking techniques and trying to pass it along a dynamic rendering. Cloaking is against Google's Webmaster Guidelines, but dynamic rendering is not. This was allegedly done in order to hide content, remove ads from Google View, inject more keywords, and manipulate crawl budget. So it's not clear that the site was hit by the March 10, 2019 core update, or if it was a manual action around the same time. So basically what's going on here is that what seemingly is going on is that cargurus.com was doing some black hat SEO and they got caught up in it. So either Google found out and personally shut them down, or they just got killed by the update. So, Search Engine Land says it's unclear. My guess is they probably just got crushed by the update because that update was big on that kind of stuff, as well as like other updates like the Penguin update and like the other ones before that. Every time one of these updates happens, there's some people that get hit. And it's usually, I would guess that it's usually the people that are doing the black hat stuff. You're gonna get crushed. Google, it would be a huge story, a massive story if Google was going in and turning off like businesses at will, based on stuff. I think it would be a much bigger story if that were the case. I think most of it is just the algorithm. But it's still a lesson to say, don't do hacks. Don't do the black hat stuff. Don't do it. It's not good. It's only going to result in negative stuff later on. You might get some short-term benefits, but then you're going to be fighting to get that rank, in the future. It's much better to do the good stuff now. Do the stuff that works. Make your page enjoyable. Make your page relevant. Do the right things right, like H tags and copy and title tags and alt text on your images and that sort of stuff. Do that stuff, of course, but also make sure your content is valuable to the consumer. Look at your bounce rates, look at your scroll depth and that sort of stuff. And if people aren't scrolling through it and people are bouncing immediately, then you've got to revisit the content, because that kind of stuff is what really matters to Google these days. They want to drive traffic to relevant and friendly websites. They're just going to do what they're getting smarter. They're going to do away with these black hat techniques with people doing them. So, all right. I think that's going to be it for me. I think that's it for news. I'm having to call it in short. I did this one in less than 30 minutes. Wow. I haven't done one in 30 minutes in a minute. I think last week was kind of short too, but actually that's what it was. I did one on Monday this week. It's been such a long week that I've totally flippin' forgot that I did it on Monday, because last Friday I was out of town or traveling or something. So I did one on Monday and it was like 20 minutes long. I just banged through some stuff. This one was a little bit longer than Monday's, but 30 minutes is typically short. Usually these are like 45 minutes, an hour long. And that's because I've got to go look at some office space. I'm trying to get into a different office and that sort of stuff, and I'm trying to get it done before the Memorial Day weekend and all that type of stuff. So things are happening on my end. I'm growing. It's been a good week. It's doing really great with business. I love doing this content. I'm getting better at it. Hopefully you can tell if you're checking this stuff out. And I hope to do more of it, and kind of grow the business and grow the channel and all that sort of stuff. So I appreciate you checking in. I appreciate you viewing me this far, and we'll catch you next time. Adios. Have a good weekend. Have a good Memorial Day. Cook some barbecue. Drink some beers. And, don't get in any trouble. See you guys.